Hey guys, and welcome to Tanashi's Movie Corner. So today, instead of doing a review of movies or shows or what have you, I'm actually going to be talking about some of the things that came up this week in the world of movie news and a little bit of TV news as well, and just give my thoughts on it. I thought I'd try it out because I found some of this stuff interesting, some of it not so much, but I'm curious what you guys think. So starting off, we're going to go through the box office recap. The top movies of this past week. Kung Fu Panda 3 had an opening of 41 million for the weekend. The Revenant came in second with 12.4 million. Star Wars Force Awakens came in at 10.7 million. I can't believe people are still seeing that. It's getting to the point where it's reaching a billion. I don't know if it's crossed it yet, but it's reaching a billion domestically. So that's interesting. Finest Hours was opening weekend for that too, and it came in at 10.3 million. Bit of a disappointment, I'm sure, for Disney and everything. They even commented on it and said that they knew that they had a bit of a challenge because those types of movies weren't being as successful lately. Like I think Black Sea and Everest when they came out. So they're hopeful that it'll get better, but as far as I know, it doesn't look like it's going to be on track to do that. And then Ride Along 2, which is that was in its second week, had 8.3 million. Now, opening week for Jane Got a Gun, which I reviewed, so if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out, came in 17th place and made $800,000 and was on 1,200 screens. That's terrible. That is really bad. And I think a huge part of that is the marketing. I just don't think the marketing was well done for this movie at all. In fact, I believe I had heard about it briefly like months ago about all the problems with the movie getting made and everything. But I just happened to notice something for it one day that it was coming out. And that's the only reason why I knew to go check it out. So that's just downright terrible for that. So I don't think they're gonna make their budget back at all, which is unfortunate, because I've said my piece on what I thought of the movie. But anyway, so yeah, Kung Fu Panda 3 did really well. I am not that surprised. It's not only, again, I have my review up for it, but it is a kids movie. And I think Norm of the North is the only other kids movie. Maybe Alvin and the Chipmunks still is, but really it's the only good one. And it is a sequel. Sequels don't tend to do as well as the first ones in many cases as far as live action goes, but I think they do pretty well for animated movies. So that doesn't surprise me. The Revenant still holding in strong. I think a big part of that has to do with the Oscars pushing it and Leonardo, being nominated and everything. Star Wars, still maintaining being in the top is crazy. Top 5, that's nuts. I know a lot of people enjoyed the movie, certainly more so than I did. But that being said, this is just a movie that's just not going away, which is interesting because it has an April release. So I wonder if these are all just people that are rewatching it, or if it's people that hadn't seen it maybe because they thought it was too packed or what have you, or a combination of both. Who knows? But anyway, so opening this week, we have Hail Caesar, which is a Coen Brothers film, and it has Scarlett Johansson in it. Which, that on its own, I was like, okay, I can kind of see the interest in it, but but it also has George Clooney and Josh Brolin, and a few others, I'm sure. So you have that coming out this week. Then you have The Choice, which is another Nicholas Sparks romantic movie. Yeah, they're never very good, but it's coming close to Valentine's Day, so I'm sure a lot of people will check that out. And then you have Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which I'm going to try to see. Hopefully tomorrow, but who knows. So you have those 3 movies that are coming out this week, and you've got a few limited releases as well, but those are the wide releases occurring. So with that being in mind, I'm going to give a prediction of where I think the movies are going to fall, and we're going to see if I'm right come next week. So I think in first place will be Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. I just feel like that's going to open strong and be the number 1. I've seen a lot of marketing for it, and it does look interesting. So I'm going to put that at number 1. At number 2, I'm actually going to go with Kung Fu Panda 3. Again, it being a kid's movie, it being a sequel at a time when there's not a lot of options, I think, and because of how well it did, I think it's going to be in the number 2 spot. Number 3, wow, this kind of gets hard to decide now, but I'm going to go and say Hail Caesar. I think it has enough interest in it to warrant it being a 3rd. I don't see it being higher than that. I could see it being lower than that, but I think there's enough interest there into this film. But trailers make it look kind of odd. But anyway, so that's number 3. For number 4, number 4. I'm gonna say The Revenant. I'll stay in 4th. Again, Oscars and everything that's happening, and it's maintaining buzz. It's keeping up in the top, so I think it's gonna be in number 4. For number 5, I'm actually gonna push up Finest Hours, because I think word of mouth is probably gonna help. Not that it's got the greatest critical reception, but it's gotten more positive than I think negatives, and I think a lot of people just missed out on it opening weekend, so I think they might check it out. So anyway, that's my top 5. I'm edging out Star Wars to number 6. That being said, Star Wars has stuck around for a long time, so I don't doubt that. I don't doubt the chance of it still making it into the top 5 for sure. But anyway, so that's that. Let's move on here. Deadpool. We have a spot that's going to be airing during the Super Bowl, a new spot, I think, as well as Ryan Reynolds, who rented a food truck and will be handing out chimichangas. That's awesome. I gotta say, the marketing for this movie has just been nothing short of brilliant. I think they've done a great job, and I'm really looking forward to this movie and to see Ryan embrace the character so much, which was his favorite character. So, I don't doubt that to an extent, but he's just gone above and beyond trying to showcase that he is the perfect Deadpool, and I really believe that. And then you have Rob Liefeld. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but he actually has seen the Deadpool movie and couldn't praise the movie enough. He had so many cool things to say about it, and he couldn't wait for people to see it and for the creator to really enjoy what they've done, because he didn't enjoy X-Men Origins. He didn't like what happened. But to see that's really cool. I really like that. Also, Olivia Munn has answered some Twitter questions, and one of the questions was about her accent, Psylocke, the character she plays, and whether she was going to have an English accent or not. And Munn came out and said no, she's not. She's going to have an American accent. And she went on to talk about how she, had shot various action scenes for the film, and so that she's hoping that they stay in there, because she thinks she did some really cool stuff. I'm not too hung up on the accent. I know a lot of people might, find it odd or disapprove of it, but I don't really particularly care. I am interested in seeing her fighting and seeing her show up. She looks the part, especially with that outfit, that kind of original outfit. So that's pretty cool. Then you have Bryan Singer, which is, he's the director of the X-Men films, and he will be directing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea remake, which I think is interesting. I saw the original once a long while back, and I don't know. I've been really intrigued by Singer. I know he kind of messed up with Superman Returns, and Jack the Giant Slayer didn't have the greatest critical reception, but I think he did The Usual Suspects. I think that's the movie. I might be getting that wrong, but and he's directed the X-Men films, and he's done a really good job. And I don't know. He also did Valkyrie, I think, which was another good film. So I'll be interested in seeing what he can do with this movie. And I think that's a movie that kind of deserves to have a remake because not many people care about it or know about it as much. So I think it's about time. It's been long enough. So yeah, you have that. And moving down the list here. Okay. Fast and Furious. I've had my review up, a brief summary of the series thus far and everything, as well as episode 7. So Vin Diesel came out and put up the dates for the next 3 movies. 3 movies, yeah, that's right, trilogy. April 14th, 2017, April 19th, 2019, and April 2nd, 2021. So April is the month, I guess, for Fast and Furious. So what I think about it, honestly, if they put in good work in it and everything, that's cool. I wish they had stopped. I think the last one was the perfect way to kind of end it, but I understand why they want to keep going. They've made so much money. It did really, 7 did really well this past year. So I understand the want to continue and everything, and not have it be your last one. So we'll see. Whether they'll keep the dates or not, I don't know. I do think they're going to try, though, because it feels like April. They're really pushing for that. So, we'll see how it goes. So, the Power Rangers movie. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have heard about it. It's being funded by Lionsgate, and it's set for a 2017 release date, so it's coming up if they stick to it. But besides a bunch of newcomers that they're casting in the roles, and this is gearing off of the original Power Rangers, which, I don't know, when was that, the early 90s? Anyway, Elizabeth Banks is going to be in the movie, cast as Rita Repulsa, who was the main villain in the first season of Power Rangers before Zed came along. I think it was, what was it, Zed? I don't know. I probably got that wrong. But anyway, so does this make me any more energetic about the movie? Not really. I mean, it was cool as a kid, seeing that. I'm sure a lot of kids enjoyed it. It doesn't really do anything for me. Elizabeth Banks, she's been in the Hunger Games. She's been in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Definitely Maybe, which was random reference, but she's been in a few things. I think she's a quality actress in her own right, so she could do good, or this could simply be a paycheck. It really doesn't do much for me one way or another, but I'm curious what you guys think. Then Dwayne Johnson came out on Twitter, and he was talking about Rampage, which was an 80s arcade game. I don't know if you guys know about it, but had a giant lizard, a wolf, and monkey. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was a monkey, and it was really cool for an arcade game, but it was just basically you're one of these creatures. You get to go up and destroy buildings or whatever until you get shot down and turn back into a human. So not much going on with it creatively. However, he came out and said that Brad Payton is directing and Flynn is producing, who's from San Andreas. So if you're a fan of that movie, I've yet to see it, so I'm holding my judgment on it. But I think it might be interesting that they're coming on board. They're getting the same team to do this one. So, and I know a lot of people had fun with San Andreas, so that's cool. Then on Alien Covenant, which is like the sequel to Prometheus, it had gone over several different titles, but it's now Alien Covenant, set to come out October 16th of next year. Noomi Rapace, again, if I said that wrong, sorry. But she will not be returning. She plays Elizabeth Shaw in Prometheus. However, Michael Fassbender as David would be returning, and he's the robot or whatever that only ends up as a head at the very end. So I don't know. I thought it's interesting. I don't know why they're not having her character return. I don't know if it's something where they're really starting to push away from the Prometheus thing, because now the title's changed to Alien, so Alien is in the forefront, or if they're going to really address what happened to her character, if her character is going to show up in the one after. So I don't really know where they're going with that. As far as Prometheus goes, I actually really enjoyed that movie. It's not better than, say, Alien or Aliens, but I did enjoy it for what it was, and I thought it was kind of cool, and it definitely looked good. So, I don't know. We'll have to see on that. Interesting little bit with the Star Wars, getting into Star Wars just a little bit. Frank Oz was apparently came in to do scenes as Yoda from The Force Awakens, and it was cut out. So I'm not really sure where they plan to fit him in. I heard it had something to do with him talking to Luke at one point, so I don't know if that was part of the flashback sequence that Rey saw or what, but it is interesting that he was cut from the film. So that leads me to think that he's probably going to be in episode 8 or episode 9. I kind of thought maybe he would be in general, but I wasn't sure. So this just kind of gives me the opinion that he probably will be. I think he might be. Moving on, we're going to discuss a little bit of TV news. So, Clone Wars Season 3. Apparently, rumors going around that we're going to get Grand Admiral Thrawn to appear. Now, from those of you that know your EU, Thrawn was in the books, and he had his own trilogy that we lost when kind of Disney took over. So, and he was a really popular character. He was a male chief or alien species who served in the naval forces of the Galactic Empire and became the only non-human Grand Admiral. And he was like the best military strategist in the Navy. So, yeah, apparently he's going to be in Season 3 of Rebels. If that's true, that's really cool. Dave Filoni, who is a fan of everything Star Wars, which I approve of, used the Clone Wars to address, issues that, maybe the original trilogy had or the prequel trilogy had, really expand upon the characters. But he also chose to add some things in there, like when we saw Darth Bane. So the fact that he might add Admiral Thrawn into the now canon universe is actually really exciting for me. Not just because I'm a fan of the books and I'm a fan of the character, but just because it showcases how much of a fan he is and what he's doing to try to appease people that do feel like they're missing out on something now, because they're losing some of the stuff that they loved from the EU. So the fact that I think this is likely to be the case, it's likely happen. I approve of it highly if that is what's happening, and I hope that's happening. So let me know your thoughts on that. Also, from TV, Supergirl and The Flash will be having a crossover episode on March 28th on CBS. Supergirl is obviously on CBS, and The Flash is on the CW. There was always a question of whether these characters would have any form of crossover coming up, especially because most of the superhero shows that are tied together for the DC universe, as far as TV universe, occur on CW, so people weren't sure how that was going to work out. But it seems like everything's a go, and we're going to get the crossover episode. I'm curious to see how it's delivered. They're both kind of in the campier aspect, so it makes a little more sense since they having an Arrow Supergirl crossover. So we'll see. I mean, Supergirl's really trying hard. I can't really say I'm too impressed. I can't really say I'm too impressed with the series thus far, but I do appreciate what they're trying to do, what they're trying to go for. So at least there's that. I don't know. That could be something that I might have to check out at some point. So anyway, yeah. I feel like I've covered a bit. I don't think I missed anything really. That's really where I'm at. There's a TV series, Legion, that's coming out. They announced the cast, but I don't recognize anybody but Audrey Plaza from Parks and Rec. And I'm not sure how much it's going to incorporate from the movies, so it may be one of those like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of things, or maybe not even Agents, maybe like Deadpool, where it does references, but it doesn't really harken to the movies at all. So, I have to wait and see how that's going to work out. But in any case, what did you guys think? Is there anything that I've covered that you found, interesting that maybe you didn't know about? Is there something I didn't cover that you would like my opinion on? What is your opinion on some of this stuff? I tried to incorporate quite a few different things that piqued my interest or I thought would be interesting to other people. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'll try to do this on a weekly basis, probably probably every Saturday or so. I'm going to try to do this. So just let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoyed it or not. That'll about wrap this up. So hopefully you did enjoy it. You will click that like button, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, watch my other vids. Look out for my Pride and Prejudice and Zombies review that hopefully will go up tomorrow. If not, oops. And for the Super Bowl, go Panthers. I don't know why I care about the Panthers, because they weren't my team, but I'm going for them anyway. Anyway, until next time, peace.